you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would they be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram, because of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip. Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, like, you're going to find out, like how I'll handle this. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like your publicist would say those things.
But one time walking in the studio and, it was like a small gap and, bleak beans. Everybody was in there and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now. Just flood it, put out a lot of music because 50 Cent
behind closed doors. Sources say 50 Cent pushed to bring forward footage and statements he claims connect Jay-Z to troubling actions linked to Diddy. These are described not as loose gossip, but as pointed accusations suggesting knowledge, possible involvement, and efforts to keep certain truths buried. Rather than retreat, 50 Cent stood firm and later confirmed the material is real and in his possession, making it clear the footage exists and he has it.
I know, 50, the way you run, this cannot be all that you have. Is there other stuff that you just have not shown?
Yeah, well, everything couldn't make it was 4 episodes.
Right.
So it was a lot.
People familiar with the matter say the real weight of the footage lies in what it allegedly suggests, that Jay-Z was aware questionable actions were unfolding around him and failed to intervene. Even more disturbing are claims he may have benefited from staying silent while others suffered. If proven, the implications would move beyond poor judgment into serious legal territory, raising questions about scale.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty.
Jane Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, reinforced the narrative by claiming Jay-Z and Diddy were far closer than later portrayed by Jay-Z's attorneys. According to him, they were not distant associates, but close enough to understand what was happening privately. This backdrop fueled conversations about serious legal risks, with allegations that Jay-Z allegedly knew, allegedly stayed quiet, and that people around them were pressured to keep things hidden. Jaguar Wright later echoed similar claims in interviews that were quickly removed from platforms. She continued speaking, and not long after, her son was tragically killed in a shooting, an event observers mention while stressing no verified or legal link to her statements has ever been established.
Died because he was my son.
He died because of
your... He was targeted because he's my son.
He
was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him, so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Roc Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me. I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. They take them anyway to show you what the harm is. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do.
Clips reportedly vanished, discussions were allegedly wiped, and a similar pattern of quiet removal is said to have followed the documentary. Now the story is resurfacing with claims that 50 Cent is revisiting the past and bringing Jaguar Wright forward to publicly revisit what she calls a long trail of serious misconduct. Among her most explosive assertions are questions surrounding Aaliyah's death, not as proven fact, but as concerns she insists were never thoroughly examined. She repeatedly asks why there was never a fully transparent investigation.
It was never investigated. Hype was never questioned. Lenny Kravitz made a statement. And it was never publicized. She was unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. There were phone calls made. There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that.
Do you feel like
why the fuck would you need to sign? A nigga don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental.
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm going to ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't?
From her perspective, NDAs are not about privacy, but about locking the truth away. Jaguar Wright alleges that more than 25 confidentiality agreements were quietly signed and financially settled after Aaliyah's death, claiming they were meant to silence what people saw, knew, or allegedly witnessed before the flight took off. As she presses the question, why, she brings Jay-Z's name into the discussion.
Carter, now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
Okay.
There were over 25 non-disclosure agreements cashed out and recorded regarding the death of that beautiful girl and every other human being that died on that plane with her. What the fuck? Would you need a nigga don't ask for that? And Diddy had Hype Williams on the balls. Belly was a money pit.
Question.
And Jay-Z got 10 free videos out of Williams.
In Jaguar Wright's view, none of it happened by chance. She believes influence was exchanged, silence was rewarded, and people with inside knowledge were financially encouraged to stay quiet. According to her perspective, that is why Jay-Z's name rarely appears in public conversations about Aaliyah's passing.
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who was a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who was a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
Her position is blunt. If Aaliyah's death had truly been nothing more than a tragic accident, she argues there would have been no need for strict silence, legal restraints, or reported financial settlements. She points to Jay-Z's rapid rise afterward and the disappearance of public questioning as reasons she believes his name deserves scrutiny. After Tupac and Biggie, the battle for rap's top spot narrowed largely to Nas and Jay-Z, And from her perspective, everything began tilting in Jay-Z's favor as Nas faded, and Jay-Z kept climbing through releases and business moves.
Saw Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both fucked Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of the both worlds, best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That nigga swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
Yeah, we know why.
You know what? I got a better question.
Yeah.
How valuable is a Biggie Smalls verse?
Yeah.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Fucking Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he can live. It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse is very valuable. Am I wrong? Does anybody disagree with me?
No, that's facts.
So then what the fuck happened to the commission? What happened to that album?
Right.
It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have came out that summer after Biggie's album, because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then the commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy. And then starting his own company. So tell me something. And this ain't me being an asshole. I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship.
She also highlights what she sees as a pattern of Jay-Z distancing himself from key figures who helped elevate him early on. Using Dame Dash as an example, she argues their split was not just business fallout, but a calculated move to consolidate power and protect the empire Jay-Z was building, even if it meant cutting ties with former allies. Clip 9.
If I'm trying to sell something, him and his lawyers, Alex Shapiro, putting a false lawsuit on me, like like that, devaluing anything that I have or trying to sell. But, or even down to like, we were selling Rockware, right? For like $400 million or whatever. I was going to make $40 million. And right before Tommy Hilfiger signs the papers, he makes an announcement saying that he's not f***ing with Rockware, that he's only f***ing with S. Carter. The whole shit up. And I just feel like he did that only because I was going to make $40 million. Like, he just couldn't see, like, they get so mad if I'm going to make money off them. Like, every time I could have made a really big check, he's always stepped in and intentionally f***ed it up. Every time. Listen, don't ask me, ask the rest of the industry. Like, that's why I got the f*** away. I mean, one of the reasons. Like Jay, I like the way I would look at it, like if you could compare him to like a character now, I'd say he's like the Penguin. He's like ruthless like that with his friends or people that help him. At least that's how.
The conversation returns to Aaliyah with a claim that her death came at a moment when several major careers were shifting. Jaguar Wright argues that in the aftermath, Jay-Z's power and visibility expanded while others slipped from focus. To her, years of observing the industry reveal patterns where the same name repeatedly emerged untouched while others fell away. Clip 10.
He died. And then they brought Rich Harrison in, and kind of think it's crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for Page 6. Aaliyah didn't. She fell in love with Dane. And Aaliyah's gone, and you have to start asking yourself questions after being in this business for this long. If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some motherfuckers keep getting?
Right.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over and over again? So to answer your question, I'm sure he's always going to be a billionaire, and I'm sure he's got great things to happen. I mean, look, he's got the job with the NFL. He's hooking all his friends up with the halftime shows. I mean, think about it. Think about the halftime shows. Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, all Rock Nation. Now Rihanna, and then we had the whole LA thing, which of course he was involved in that, and then they pulled Mary J. Blige off to, you know, make sure she got that money for Kendall, and you know, they had that whole moment, you know, but all he's doing is using his friends and the people that he fucks with, or at least the people that signs his non-disclosure agreements. He keeps getting them the Super Bowl gigs. So I mean, like, he's doing all kinds of stuff, you know, and I do not begrudge him. It's just, if you got to do the kind of things that he's done to get where he's gotten, well, fuck it.
Jaguar Wright raises concerns about a long-debated topic involving Jay-Z and very young artists, pointing to Rihanna as a key example. She claims Rihanna entered the industry as a minor and was treated more like a commercial asset than a teenager needing protection. According to Wright, powerful figures within Jay-Z's circle position Rihanna in high-profile industry spaces and private gatherings she believes were inappropriate for her age, framing this as a deliberate pattern rather than coincidence.
Clip Wright explained how Rihanna was sold to Jay-Z at 16 years old. She explained how it was super sketchy that Rihanna got brought to America at only 16 years old without any parental supervision, and how she auditioned for Jay-Z at 3 o'clock in the morning. She explained how it didn't make sense that Rihanna's parents would let her fly by herself after just meeting Evan Roberts all the way to America to meet with Jay-Z in the middle of the night. And she alleged that Rihanna's dad got a $500,000 payout for letting this happen. She alleged since this was all out of the blue, Rihanna would have had to flown on a private plane to get from Barbados to America because she wouldn't have had a visa and her parents were not around with her to fly to America. And Rihanna even explained how Jay-Z would not let her leave until she signed the recording contract, and the label locked her in the office until 3 a.m.
You've gone through some big changes since you've been signed at Def Jam. Can you tell me what are the biggest changes you've gone through from St. Michael's, Barbados until now you being a superstar?
Well, one of them for sure is being away from my friends and family. After growing up around my mom and all my friends for 17 years and then moving to a big city with no one because all my family and friends are still in Barbados. So after moving to a big city with, you know, basically around strangers, that was the hardest thing for me to cope with at first.
Are you lonely sometimes?
I wasn't lonely, but I really do miss my family and my friends.
And a lot of people have speculated this for years about Rihanna because people found it super weird. Right before Jay-Z signed Rihanna, he was working heavily with a 16-year-old Tierra Marie who signed to Def Jam by L.A. Reid. And after a while, there was rumors circulating all over that Tierra Marie and Rihanna actually had a fallout because Rihanna's career skyrocketed and Tierra Marie got let go from Def Jam. And allegedly, Tierra Marie is the Jane Doe that is suing Diddy and L.A. Reid for SA when she was just 16.
11. Jonathan Hay, who worked in public relations at the time, echoes parts of that story from his experience. He recalls many people assuming Rihanna was older and that she was regularly brought into clubs and high-level industry environments requiring age verification. He says it wasn't until one night she couldn't show ID that people realized she was only 17. Jaguar Wright argues that by then the damage was done, claiming protective early team members were pushed aside while those who raised concerns quietly lost opportunities through what Hay describes as a silent industry freeze. Clip 12.
Almost blacklisted.
Oh no, absolutely blacklisted. They didn't tell you were blacklisted. It's just the jobs that you used to get easy. All of a sudden there were other people. There was a new direction. There were restaurants you used to eat at that were always sold out. Your table wasn't available. It is the shunning
Yeah, exactly.
Social shunning. And then when people that you know who you are, start talking about you behind your back in ways that they never did, and all of a sudden their career begins to elevate.
Yeah.
It's social engineering. And the sad thing about it is, every last rapper that you said fucked you over also happens to be a government informant.
Yeah.
Why would you think that you had a chance against these people when everything that they do, the government seems to ignore? It seems like they were untouchable because you didn't know that they had a deal.
Right.
They had permission to act like assholes and never have to be accountable for it, or so the government said, so they get to fuck over people like you and people like me and people like Aaliyah and people like Rihanna, people like Lauryn Hill and people like Rakim, people like Nas. You know what I'm speaking.
Yeah.
But
even back in 2005, when we had spoke to the FBI, I didn't think of her like.
See if you were willing to testify against him, so they would know whether or not they were going to have to move you.
Jaguar further alleges that Jay-Z shot videos overseas featuring very young models and that his influence discouraged scrutiny. She claims silence was enforced through strict contracts, confidentiality agreements, and financial leverage. More broadly, she argues that minors and emerging artists are often the most vulnerable in the music business, treated as commodities once
was there at the beginning of her career, who took such great care to get her there. She shouldn't have been stripped from her team.
Right.
From her protection, no different than a rose. They went into the garden and they stripped the thorns and they pulled it out, and then they've been ripping petals off piece by piece, year for year.
Correct.
Change that.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
For her.
Yeah.
And for every other child girl like her.
And you're doing. Listen, you're doing the same thing that Dream Hampton did when she laid out the R. Kelly case for the prosecutors to finally, after 20 years, go and charge him.
Dream is one of Jay-Z's girls too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the way that she
to do that right.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you wanted to take him out?
Her to do Surviving R. Kelly and Bring In Me Too. Just like he loaned his lawyer Spiro to Tupac's family so that they can get to the bottom of his unalivement.
She argues Jay-Z occupied positions of power where he could have protected others, but instead, according to her, people were sidelined or quieted to keep profits and momentum intact. She connects this mindset to what she believes fuels 50 Cent's push to expose Jay-Z, tracing it back to experiences from 50's early career that hardened into resentment. To understand it, she says, one must rewind to a Tim Westwood interview where 50 described Jay-Z as smooth and strategic, adding remarks many listeners later found telling.
What?
50 Cent framed the wider landscape by saying his own albums were selling millions globally, while Jay-Z held a different kind of stature at home, polished, calculated, and trusted by executives. To 50, that controlled exterior always masked something unsettling. It wasn't just Jay-Z's power, but how authority was carried while doors opened for one man and stayed closed for another. Clip 15.
So Jay-Z recently said something crazy about he said nobody's scared of 50 Cent.
I think he would have done that if that was 50 Cent. No one's scared of 50 Cent. I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
I think it was kind of taken out of context a little bit, but what do you think about it?
I don't think it was taken out of context. No, I think the guy who was talking to him made him feel like a punk. You see what I'm saying? So he had to say, yo, nobody scared of 50. Let's get this clear. Nobody is scared of 50. But I'm not the issue. Him making you feel like a punk is the issue. And at the end of the day, I look at it and people don't assess themselves. even really intelligent people. Jay's a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? He'll analyze other people and other things that they're doing and not actually look at what's happening to him and his transition and difference. But his actual, right now, he's in a real safe space. He created this real safe aura. This is why people walking on the stage and why shit is happening like that. A lot of it wouldn't have been like that if he actually dealt with his issues himself. See, he's a piece of work, man. He always put somebody in front of him. When Jada came for him, he put Beanie in front of him. And Beanie went back and forth with Jadakiss. When Cam came for him, he put True Life in front of him. And they went back and forth. And he just didn't compete.
Him and Alicia are supposed to be doing a song again at the AMAs, but they're gonna have like 20 security members on the stage making sure nobody bum rushes the stage.
This makes sense.
That's crazy. I think everyone was kind of like just going crazy that night anyway at the MTV Awards.
Yeah, but that's not... Nah, everyone wasn't.
Kanye.
They just felt... You gotta feel comfortable enough to do that. Like, see, don't get fucked up. I'll fuck up. You do some shit like that, and I'll fuck up. Let me go on record with that shit, because I ain't really with all that dumb shit. I think everybody already know that. And they know, like, they already know. Bitch, you wouldn't have walked up there no matter how hot your record is. She'd enjoyed that shit from the seat, like everybody else. Like, yo. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have walked up there. You know fucking better. Like, it's not that comfortable when I'm around. You know I'm coming with something that can make the response right away if they do something crazy. Right? How you going?
These claims involve extremely serious allegations about real people, and none have been proven in court or confirmed by credible investigations. When such narratives circulate, mixing rivalry, grievances, and accusations, outcomes usually follow one of a few paths. Verified evidence leads to formal investigations. Those named respond through legal channels, or the story fades without confirmation. Accusations alone create noise, but consequences require proof. At present, everything described remains speculation and personal testimony.